welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Leese, and on today's news, we're diving into the latest box office numbers and the latest headlines from around the industry. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. If you're a podcaster looking to grow your audience and get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. And if you use the promo code Larry21, you could save 10% off your order. We also have merch available. If you're interested, consider buying a shirt today and help support the channel. But now, our first topic, the box office report. Talk about a epic disaster. It's one of the worst weekends of the year, again. Boy, that surprise Dragon Ball superhero bump sure was nice. But, as any Dragon Ball fan knows, come on, Hotel Nerd, any exciting thing must be followed by a few episodes of boring things so the good guys can power up for another exciting battle. So it's actually a cool bit of fan service that Superhero has fallen nearly 80% in its second week, going from first to fifth, and coming in with $4.5 million. Just enough to crack the $30 million total. Or it will be if the movie comes back later with a powered-up Ultra Instinct box office that is even bigger. Otherwise, it's just a normal thing lately where a movie opens big and then falls off. Along with Superhero's fall, everything else has dropped as well. In fact, the total gross for this weekend's box office is one of the lowest of the entire year. Going back to January, when we were all still worried about COVID variants instead of pretending they don't exist. The top spot went to The Invitation, which opened to an even $7 million, followed by a revitalized Bullet Train with $5.6 million. A total of nearly $80 million after 4 weeks. And then Beast with $4.9 million. In fourth place is something called Top Gun Maverick. We've never heard of it either. With $4.7 million and a total of $691 million. Then we have Dragon Ball, which we already mentioned. And then DC League of Super Pets, newcomer 3,000 Years of Longing, Minions, The Rise of Gru, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Ron the Crawdad Sing, hanging on to the top 10 for 7 weeks and hitting $80 million, which is a respectable achievement. So to recap, at number 1 is The Invitation, followed by Bullet Train, then Beast, then Top Gun Maverick, and then Dragon Ball. We get Super Pets, 3,000 Years of Longing, The Minions, Rise of Gru, Thor, Love and Thunder, and finally, The Crawdads Sing. Let us know your thoughts on the current box office situation. What are your thinkings about the reasons behind this epic disaster? And now on to another topic. Ezra Miller has met with WB Discovery executives to try to save Flash. Miller's apology tour continues in the wake of his recent behavior. Ezra Miller has been on an apology tour over the past couple of weeks, with the latest stop reportedly being a meeting with the heads of the Warner Brothers film division. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Miller and their agent Scott Metzger met with WB film chairs Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi, where they reportedly apologized for bringing negative attention to The Flash. Miller also reportedly reaffirmed their commitment to the movie, which has been rumored to be under threat amid a flurry of controversy surrounding the actor. Miller is said to have sought the meeting after reports emerged that the film might be canceled, not the least because The Flash is reportedly one of their favorite characters to play. Miller was reportedly apologetic and reaffirmed his commitment to getting care. According to the Hollywood Report, the mood around The Flash has improved of late at WB Discovery, buoyed by strong audience test scores and Miller's recent about face. Still, even if WB Discovery goes ahead with The Flash, Miller's problems are far from over. The actor faces legal trouble in multiple states, including a felony burglary charge in Vermont. They also have been accused of grooming a teenager. Miller only recently appeared after abruptly deleting their Instagram and vanishing. In the wake of their reappearance, Miller apologized for his recent behavior, claiming he is suffering from complex mental health issues, saying, quote, "Having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment." Miller said earlier this month, "I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. I'm committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life." Before we move on, what is your thoughts on this? Do you think Ezra Miller should remain with the Flash? Should we keep the Flash alive? Or should they just call it quits? WB Discovery is rumored to be considering that, as they're preparing for multiple scenarios, including canceling the film outright. The Flash is one of many difficulties that the studio is currently facing amid the blowback over Batgirl's cancellation and more. As for Miller, they're set to appear in a Vermont court on September 27th to face his felony burglary charge. And now, before we move on, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you like our content, and if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, pay them, and let's move on. Mandalorian will be back for a third season next year, and there's a chance Pedro Pascal's hero could finally have a shot at redemption. The Mandalorian Season 3 is coming to Disney Plus next year, and with the characters of the Mandalorian and Grogu being, for many, the saving grace of the Book of Boba Fett, fans cannot wait for Pedro Pascal's return. Fans have had an extended wait for the third season of the popular show, with it being almost 2 years since the finale of the last season. But work has been ongoing to make the next season continue the strong performance, and according to executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, could give The Mandalorian a possible redemption. The Mandalorian recently lost its title of having the highest viewed debut on Disney Plus to Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it still stands alone above all the other original series for overall viewing figures, and has very rarely put a foot wrong in anything it has done. The series has managed to develop its own story, while also weaving in aspects of the original Star Wars movies, including an appearance by Luke Skywalker. Favreau recently discussed where the series could be heading next with the Dagobah Dispatch podcast, saying, quote, "Well, we established in the Book of Boba Fett that there was an opportunity for the Mandalorian to be redeemed, because he had transgressed against the Creed by removing his helmet, and among his group of Mandalorians, that is something that's not permitted. Now we know that there are other groups of Mandalorians when they have different set of rules. In the Clone Wars, we saw with Dave, and also with the character that I voiced, that the Mandalorians are very different there. And so these different groups are coming together, and we're going to figure out the nexus point for all of those communities, of course, is their homeworld from which they're exiled, which is Mandalore." Pedro Pascal spoke recently to Total Film about where his character is going to be heading in the new season. The character has undergone quite a lot of change over the last 2 seasons, and that is set to continue in Season 3. Pascal said, quote, "If he is stepping into a leadership position, he's reluctant to do so. I don't think that there's anything more interesting than a character being forced into discovering what they're capable of and who they are. That part has been really, really fun. Also, from my point of view, there's so many searchable ways to find the tonality of that. I just try to achieve the subtleties of that kind of character development." Although there's no exact date for the return of The Mandalorian, it is currently scheduled to air sometime in February 2023, which is 2 months after its usual December slot. However, fans shouldn't have to wait too long after that for the 4th season, which has already moved into development. And as you probably already know, Seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, as well as the Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, are all available on Disney Plus. And before we move on, a story that's very intriguing. Movie tickets are being sold for $3 on National Cinema Day. In 1980, the average cost of a movie theater ticket was around $2.70, And on September 3rd, 2022, movie lovers can enjoy the full theater atmosphere, screaming or laughing with the crowd for just $3. It's all part of a campaign by the Cinema Foundation, which is a nonprofit arm of the National Association of Theater Owners, to try to lure folks back to the theaters during Labor Day weekend, which is normally a slow time at the box office. Cineworld, which owns Regal Cinemas, cited the scant supply of major new releases in its recent plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Dubbed National Cinema Day, at least 30,000 of the more than 48,700 movie screens across the nation will be participating. This includes major chains like AMC and Regal Cinemas, and tickets will be no more than $3 for every showing in every format. So you want to go see those movies in 4DX? Check it out on September 3rd for $3. Cineworld, which owns Regal Cinemas, cited the recent drop in new releases and its plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which we previously covered. But they will also be honoring this promotion, and hopefully they can make some money to increase their business and not have to go bankrupt. However, if successful, National Cinema Day could flood theaters with moviegoers and potentially become an annual thing, which I think would be needed at a time like Labor Day, like they've previously admitted to being a slow day or a slow weekend. And it's always a day to, appreciate what cinema does for people, whether it's an escapism or it's just a time to relax, unwind. I personally use it as a day to watch movies, usually on the day that I am off the next day for 3 days, just to relax, unwind from work, and just enjoy a movie. But I'm going to be changing that and watching a movie September 3rd instead of waiting till that Sunday. Before each showing, ticket buyers will be shown a sizzle reel of upcoming films from A24, Amazon, Disney, Focus Features, Lionsgate, Paramount, Sony Picture Classics, Sony, United Artists, Universal, and Warner Brothers. Thanks to films like Top Gun Maverick, Minions: Rise of Gru, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and Jurassic World Dominion, domestic box office ticket sales saw a huge boost to the tune of $3.4 billion, along with special sneak peeks and exclusive previews. All movies are only $3, including Pepsi 4DX, ScreenX, IMAX, Regal Premium Experience, and more. Let us know your thoughts on National Cinema Day. Should we make this an annual thing? Are you going to be attending? Jurassic World Dominion might not be the greatest movie, but I'll pay $3 to go see it in IMAX or D-Box or any format for that matter. But that is all we have for this episode of the Cinema Gold Show. Leave your comments and suggestions in the comments section below, or find us on Twitter or Facebook at Cinema Gold Show. And as always, if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. And as always, please subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the podcast to all major podcast platforms, including Good Pods. And as always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.